Hey everyone, I'm Patrick. I'm the creator of Recipe Kit for Shopify. In this video, I'm going to show you what recipe-rich snippets are, how they're displayed on Google, and why they're helpful if you're a food blogger or run a food-related business online. So to get started, what do they actually look like? Recipe-rich snippets show up in Google search results, like on the screen here. I've just searched for a stir-fry recipe, and on the top of the page here, you can see all of these recipes come up with this additional info and images. Recipe-rich snippets essentially provide this data to Google to show up in these search results. So here you can see we have a nice recipe image, rating, and a cook time, and some additional information about the ingredients. And once you have the rich snippets in place, you're also eligible to be shown in this recipe gallery that just looks great and shows up really well on mobile results, which most people are going to be searching for recipes on. So here you can see a list of a bunch of these stir fry recipes that all have implemented the rich recipe snippets. And on the other hand, if we compare that to a recipe that does not have any of these rich snippets implemented, you can see on this page here on these search results what a standard recipe blog post will look like. And obviously you can see it doesn't have any images, it doesn't have the rating, it doesn't have too much information. And you really see the difference when you compare this one to these search results over here. So now you have an idea of what the rich recipe snippets actually look like in Google search results. And now I'll go over what they are and how you can actually implement them on your website. So I'm here on the recipe structured data documentation page from Google. So structured data is a phrase you may have seen around before, but it's essentially this hidden backend language that you can use to provide Google more context about your website and the pages within it. So they're structured data pages about most other types of pages. So Q&A page, a standard blog post page, product page, collection page, etc. Obviously, in our scenario here, we want to provide additional information to Google about our recipe. So we're looking at the recipe structured data. If we scroll down here into the how to add structured data section, they show us this big chunk of somewhat overwhelming code. If you look through it, it's a little bit confusing, but once you look through it, you'll understand that it's essentially a programmatic representation of your recipe. So it shows all of your recipe information, but with values and in a manner essentially that allows the Google bot to understand it and index it properly. So implementing this is really how you implement those rich snippets and get shown up on that recipe carousel and whatnot. So if you're a developer or you have a developer on your team, you can essentially copy and paste this into your website. Obviously, change all of the recipe data to fit your recipe and paste that in, and you'd be good to go once Google indexes your recipe. If you're not a developer, that's where things become a little bit more complicated. And that's where I'd typically prefer to suggest you to move towards third-party plugins for your platform that can essentially automatically generate this data and format it for Google's indexing to understand and set you up with those rich recipe snippets. So if you're on Shopify, you can use my app, which is called Recipe Kit. And again, it automatically generates this rich recipe snippet data and submits it to Google so that you show up higher and in that recipe carousel. Otherwise, if you're on WordPress, there's a whole bunch of recipe plugins for WordPress that will do similar things. So to sum up, recipe-rich snippets help make your recipes more clickable, and in turn, that can bring more visitors to your website. For food bloggers and any food business that can use recipes to sort of sell their products online or attract more customers to their brand, they're a super easy way to get more eyes on your content. That's all for today. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.